Hey audio friends, welcome back to the channel. MrAyrit here. Today we got an DAC amp review for you. This one is coming to you courtesy of Apos Audio, who sent this out for review. It is the Xduoo TA-10R. So it's a hybrid tube amplifier, and let's dig into it, see what you get. Okay, so single tube here, right? The amplifier has both balanced and single-ended. One thing that's interesting about this is both of the balanced and single-ended have the same power output, at least at 32 ohms, which is what I found on their website. So 2 watts, which is a good amount. They use either 12AU7 or E88C2, I think, tubes, which I did happen to have a few on hand, and we'll talk about tube rolling here in a little bit. You can see on the front, they got a nice little display there, balanced, single-ended, volume knob / multifunction button. This is like a continuous scroll, so it's a digital volume knob, right? And then you can push it to change inputs and to hold it, turn it on, off, stuff like that. On the back, you've got PC power cable in, on off switch up here, USB in, coax in, coax out, optical in. So you've got quite a few input options here, and then you've got a couple of RCA in and a couple of RCA out. So it's a pretty functional little device. You got a lot going on. Obviously, it's got a rather interesting colorway. Now, I do think you can just get kind of the regular Xduoo gray and red. But this one's kind of a nice change of pace, a little maroon, gold accents. And recently I had been testing the Hi-Fi Mint R9, and check this out, right? That's not that I'm a huge fan of the design of the R9s, but I mean, that looks pretty cool sitting next to each other, doesn't it, right? And actually it sounded really good with this JM modded R9 as well. I actually think I liked this DAC amp the best with the R9, or when I was testing these R9s out, this amp is the one I like the best, regardless of anything else that I have on hand, including my $1,000 Quicksilver amplifier. So that says something about this little DAC amp. Now, as far as just like use case, I mean, it honestly doesn't sound that tubey to me when we're talking sound and what you're going to use it for. I've used it with a bunch of different headphones. I used it with, planar magnetics like the Sindara and the T60 Argons. And then I used it with some dynamic stuff like my 8XX and the R9s. And, I never really got a real tubey sense from it. So it's obviously a hybrid style amplifier, and I would say it leans more solid state than tubey. To me, I thought it doesn't really have that richness that I usually associate with tube amplifiers. So it's really pretty clean as far as sound signature goes. Maybe tilts, like there's just a little bit of shrillness, I would say, on the upper end, but with the right tubes you can tame that a little bit. I didn't find tube rolling to have a huge impact, but I did think it sounded, with this tube here in particular, which is a PS Vane, it's got a peacock on it. I don't really know much about this tube. I got it when I bought like a collection of tubes. And you can see, quick plug by the way, right? My tube holder is just like a watch case, which really nice to keep your tubes organized if you've got like a boatload of tubes on hand, like I do. So I'll link to that down below in case you're interested in that. But that was the tube that I thought was the best because I thought it tamed some of the top end like a little bit, which I felt came on a little strong with this amplifier. Like I said, I don't feel like it has the richness that I usually associate with tube amps. Certainly not the richness that my Quicksilver has, which I don't think that's an overly rich amp. So that tells you right there that this one, like, if you're looking for kind of like extra warmth from a tube amp, I don't think you're going to get it out of this guy. What you're going to get is a pretty clean signal. What I would say that this thing does the best that I thought stood out on it more than anything else was its separation. So it really did give you a nice sense of space and separation. But all in all, I didn't feel like it was really all that special, I guess is what it comes down to for me. So I don't really have a lot of complaints, except maybe, you know, in that treble region a little bit. But if you don't, if you're looking for just something that's kind of like cleaner, and you maybe want to roll tubes a little bit, I mean, you could look at this. I would probably personally rather go, you know, separate DAC, separate little, maybe cheaper tube amp, like a 604 or a 602 or something like that, or a Schiit Valley 2. Rather than investing all in on this thing. I think that's just my opinion of where I'm at with it, because like I said, I didn't really feel like I got like a big tubey, like a real tubey sense from this guy. And if you're looking for just something that's clean, I think you can buy you know, DAC amp combos or a little stack that's going to be a lot cheaper and get you kind of that clean signal. Specifically, and I'll be doing this review here really soon, over here I've got the Toping DX1, which is like that little itty bitty mini DAC amp, and that thing I actually thought is really good, and it's clean, but it's even a little bit richer than this guy is, I thought. So I would probably recommend that over this if you're just wanting a simple little all-in-one unit, but that'll be a different review all of its own. So for me, I don't know if I'd go out of my way to pick this guy up, but you know, if you have a chance to get a good deal on one, give it a shot. I mean, it's not a bad amplifier in DAC. It's I think it looks nice. I think it's a simple setup, quite versatile with the power output that it's got. It just didn't wow me. So I think that's where we'll leave this one. Have you heard this guy? Do you does your opinion differ from mine? Do you agree? Drop all that stuff down below. Of course, if you want more audio reviews, consider subscribing. If this helped you out, consider dropping a like. And with all that being said, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and thank you to APOS for sending me this guy. Always appreciate you sending me stuff so I don't have to buy it all myself. So thank you to you, and I'll drop links to this guy will be to APOS, and they'll be affiliate. So if you decide you want to buy something, if you use those links, that does help out the channel a little bit, and I would appreciate that too. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.